summarizing all 50 parts of the Reesa Teesa Who the F Did I Marry videos in one singular part. Let's flow. Reesa Teesa and her ex-husband, who she calls Legion, met in March 2020, right before COVID, on 2 different dating apps, which was the first red flag. One was his real name, one was a nickname. They hung out a ton, and when COVID hit, they decided to quarantine at her house, which she agreed was a little fast. Not long after, she gets pregnant, they decide they need to get married. During all of this, they decide they want to buy a house. He can't show proof of funds. Unfortunately, she miscarries the child, and he doesn't even go with her to the surgery and says he has an important meeting for work. Allegedly, at this time, he works as a VP for a condiment company and leaves the house at 6:15 a.m. every morning and comes home at 3:34 p.m. Eventually, they continue the house search and she wants to see his accounts. He shows her a Chase savings account and a Chase checking account where he has money in it, but says he also has money from playing arena football in a U.S. bank account and an offshore account. Next on the list of things that started giving her pause was a car. She wants this dark blue BMW with cognac interior. He doesn't end up getting it for her, but he does buy a BMW, which he says is his work car that he keeps at some random building that he says the condiment company owns. Some other sketchy stuff happens. They get married January 2021. 2 weeks later, flips his vibe. Starts acting weird, accusing her of cheating, makes this some story that her ex showed up in a Dodge Charger at their house, but she confirms it's a lie because they have a Ring camera. But he does little things to keep her around, like printing out an itinerary for a trip on her dream vacation to London with flights and all that jazz. They try to get another house, third time, with a different realtor, this girl named Amber, and basically they pause it because he can't show the proof of funds, and this woman, Amber, basically gives her like this aha moment where she's like, you can either buy the house with him or I got you if you want to do it by yourself. And she's like, by myself is probably a better idea. Tons of other small things that happen but are important. They do marriage counseling with a pastor, but she also like catches him doing Facebook Messenger with other women that he of course talks himself out of, but he moves into the guest room. She decides to pursue a new job opportunity and needs to put his social security number on the application. The one he begrudgingly gives her is basically different than the one that's on their marriage license. She looks at both. One has no records. One is completely different than what he said he did, which was live in California and have an ex-wife there. Through all this, he gets his knee injury at work, never gets it checked out. It turns into this debilitating injury where he's basically bedridden and he just brushes it off and says it's like an old football injury. One day he calls her and says the stepdaughter from his California marriage had passed away and they need to give $2,000 towards a funeral. Of course, she says yes, she's human. She does some more sleuthing and finds out basically that this California marriage actually happened in Georgia and he basically lied about the whole story and she was the one who divorced him and he couldn't even pay for the divorce fees. Finds the ex's phone number, ends up calling her, and basically the ex is like, if you're calling me, I know it's bad, don't believe the thing he says, everything he is a lie. They have a good conversation, she keeps most of it to herself. Continuing her sleuthing, she finds his mom's obituary where she learns 2 more things. 1, he has another ex-wife that he never talked about, and 2, the 2 sisters he claims to have don't exist. In the midst of this, he changes jobs, he's bedridden, and basically he's just sitting there slugging Powerade every day. One day, she turns on his old work phone and finds texts and confirmations that he's been seeing a sex worker. Obviously, it doesn't even surprise her at this point. One thing leads to another where June 2021, on his birthday, she confronts him in bed where he had been peeing in those Powerade bottles, which is disgusting. They have a huge blow up, they're on the phone with family members. She kicks him out, he leaves with 2 bags of clothes. Eventually, they're texting about the divorce. She goes to file and his cousin calls her and is like, who are you? What's going on? What's happening with this divorce? He just showed up and we haven't talked to him in years. Basically, she confirms all the stuff is completely made up that he's been saying. And she's like, he's been lying since he was little. I'll get you in touch with his brother so you can like work this out. She requests to meet Legion at a UPS so they can do the signature for the divorce papers. He shows up, same clothes, has basically been living out of his car, smells, and is even smaller than he was before. In the conversation with the cousin, she basically finds out that he has a twin, and that's basically who he's been pretending to be with the VP title, the luxury car, the family house, and she's like spiraling. She ends up calling the brother, they talk, he basically said, I haven't spoken to him in 5 years, and she's like, what? Every single morning we woke up and he was on the phone with you and we would like be talking to you, and basically it turns out he was talking to himself the entire time. The brother confirms that basically everything he said about his family he made up, including like where his parents are, how they passed, what siblings he has, all this is insane. And he tells her that he has a criminal record. Then she starts doing reverse Google image searches on all of these things that she found on his work phone, which were the Chase bank account statements and the BMW and all this stuff. And she basically finds out that he just found them on Google. When all this happens, his aunt calls her and is like, what's going on? He's trying to ask me for financial help. And she's like, oh yeah, we got a divorce. We tell her and she's like, oh, but what happened to the baby? She's like, we don't have a baby. And she's like, no, what? He's been coming to Augusta for months telling me he's going to bring the little boy and that you guys are getting divorced and he's bringing the little boy with him. And she's like, that's not true. Eventually, she looks up his criminal records, finds out he's gotten arrested for things like suspended license, trespassing, but the most important one to her was that he got arrested for impersonation of an officer. Now we're in August 2021, he's basically disappeared, she can't find anything about him, and basically starts reaching out to every single person on Facebook he's ever mentioned to try to figure out where he might be. They all want nothing to do with him. She finds out that he checked himself into a hospital for 2 weeks so he could have a bed, ends up calling her 30 times a day, every hour of the day, and she basically calls the police and is like, he's stalking me, he's harassing me. The police say there's a warrant out for his arrest. When he shows up, call us and we will come and arrest him. That's what they do. She's watching from a car across the street. They arrest him. He gets out of the car, same clothes, still living in his car, even smaller. She said he was a 3X, now he's a medium. And basically he peacefully gets arrested, but he wants to talk to her. They exchange a few words while the police officer is there with the body cam, and she's basically like, I never want to see you again. She gets the letter that the divorce is finalized. She's crying with relief. She also donates all this stuff to a domestic violence shelter and calls the car to get it repossessed. And she's like, I'm out of here. I'm moving. This is it. He's done. He's in jail. It's good. She's scheduled to move on August 31st, and his court session on August 29th, 2 days before, they find out the warrant's expired and he's getting released on the 30th. She goes to stay with her aunt on the 30th, so there's no contention there. She basically wakes up, moves within 2 hours, boom, done, doesn't hear from him until December 2022, 5 months later. She's out from work from COVID, and basically he calls work trying to find her, and she sends him one last message, and it's like, if you ever try to contact me again, I will get a restraining order, and she never heard from him again. That's the story. Basically, she then does like a whole Instagram live, but the moral of the story is she's an amazing storyteller. It had everyone hooked. I hope she gets a lot of brand deals. I hope she gets her BMW and gets to go on her trip to London. Obviously, do your due diligence, talk to people, go watch her series because she deserves to be supported, but I just gave you all the deets.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I mean, this is wild. Like, there's a 50-part story to this, but I couldn't like watch everything, man. It's so long. So yeah, seeing this summary kind of just helps a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there who probably won't be able to watch the 50-part. That's why I kind of decided to share this summary with us, as I saw it to this lady. Credit to this lady, whoever she is. But then I also want to point out some important lessons I find here, because I'm not just going to play this and allow you guys to go here without actually going home with something tangible as when it comes to lessons you will learn, so that you won't be a victim of this situation. Because yeah, there was a lot of red flags like from the beginning, from the get-go. I'm not trying to blame this young lady or this woman. She's called is it Reesa Teesa? I don't want to blame her for anything or whatever. What has happened has happened. She has gone through it, and I hope she's recovering, like this lady said, and I hope she gets everything she needs to in this healing journey and recovering phase of her life. But really, I want to point out some important lessons that I believe that every one of us need to take note of, especially when you're meeting people online, meeting people on dating app. I've not really been a big fan of dating app. I know it works for some reasons, it works for some persons, but I've not really been a big fan of it because it just puts people in a very like sudden blast mode and everything that goes with it. So yeah, I just want to dive into it. But remember, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. I do videos like this. I react to videos. I teach about relationship. I'm a relationship coach, and it's my intention to help you have a good relationship and avoid these kind of problems and avoid getting into this kind of situation yourself. So the first lesson I want to point out here is, when you see red flags, don't call them orange or don't give them another title. Red flags are red flags. If something is off about somebody, don't doubt it. Make sure, first of all, when you want to ever engage with somebody online, or whenever you want to take something serious with somebody online, ensure that you're not just going off of based on what they are just telling you alone. That is very risky, because a lot of people have designed a lie, especially on these dating apps, where like they have told this same story to like multiple ladies or multiple men. Like they already have their story packaged well that they share with anybody who comes along or whoever is interested in getting to know them. So they are like, it's already made up and waiting for whoever the victim will be. So apart from what anybody is telling you, apart from whatever they are saying to you, ensure that you do your own investigation. Search up those people to see if they have. That's why I like social media, in the sense that when you have a social media presence, it kind of helps people to get to see who you are, your life and everything. But like, it's always very risky dating people or being with people who don't have any form of social media presence, because you don't even know anything about them. Yeah, I know that not a lot of people put their life on social media. Not everybody likes social media, because I know even in the olden days, like I'm from Nigeria, so back home then in the olden days, my parents used to tell us how if they want to marry somebody, they will go and do a lot of investigation on who this person is, who is their family, where are they coming from, what they are they known for, is there any cause in their family, is there any marriage issues in their family, something like that. They do in-depth investigation to figure out where this person is coming from before they give their daughter or they allow their son to get married to this person, because you can't just just see because in our day and age, you just see somebody online and you just fall in love, and then next thing you get married, 6 months, you move in together, you are living with them. You don't really know anything about this person outside who they have told you they are. And people lie a lot. Like this situation, they lie a lot. So you don't have to just go off of only what they're telling you. Ensure that you do your own investigation. If they call it stalking, let it be. That's their business. Like I think I remember saying this sometime. I don't care if anybody will tell me that I'm stalking, trying to find out who they are, apart from what they told me there. I don't care, because I will do my own personal investigation to be sure that whatever you're telling me correlates to what I'm seeing from every other place. And also another mistake this lady made, or that I've seen this lady made in this whole situation, is in the beginning, you didn't even get to know any family member of his. You eventually got married even before you started trying to find out who the family members are, which is similar to what I've been saying. You need to ensure that within 3-4 months of talking to somebody, like talking stage, that you are already doing your best to get to know the person's family member if something is going to be serious in that relationship. Not to even talk about when you have made up your mind to get married to the person. So it is very important that you start to get to know their family members, know their parents if they are still alive, know their siblings. Try to ensure so that somebody will not be lying to you, and you know, see, he has not even spoken to his brother, he has not spoken to his aunties, his sisters, and all those stuff. He even lied about sisters and all those stuff. So if you're talking to the people close to him, especially friends too, it is very important. It opens your eyes to a lot of things about this person who you are just getting to know. Another thing that I want to say is that I want people to understand that getting pregnant is not a good reason to get married. The fact that you decided to sleep with somebody who is not your husband or wife, and both of you got pregnant, it is not enough reason to get married, because a lot of people get married because of this pregnancy who are not supposed to be married, and down the line they discover they had a lot of friction, a lot of emotional blackmail, a lot of quarrels that were not resolved or that were not tackled before they get married. So pregnancy, childbirth is not a license to get married. It's better you stay a single parent and be happy, or sort out life that way, than to get married to somebody and endure emotional traumas, physical violence, and different kind of things. So it's very, very important. So marriage shouldn't be something you do because you got pregnant. And I always advise against living together, cohabiting. It's not something you should be doing, because it just puts you in a very difficult situation. You give all the wife privileges, the husband privileges, and all those stuff, and then what's there for? Why would somebody even take you serious in that other extent? So I mean, there's so many red flags in this story. I don't know why she didn't even lead before even got to the married part. Even when they wanted to buy a house, the proof of fund, like he couldn't provide it. That's already a red flag. If he said he's working, he's making money, he's VP here. Those things don't see, guys, please, when people show you this red flag, when their words are not lining up, when their actions and words are not matching, it's a red flag. It's a sign that you shouldn't be dealing with those person. You caught him cheating, you caught him texting ladies. These are signs. Don't take it for granted. There are so many things he promises, he doesn't follow through. These are signs. These are lessons I want you guys to pick from this video. Somebody that promises you something but never follows through a couple of times, maybe they do it once, okay, fine. They do it another time, maybe a coincidence. But then if they do it again and again, take their words for it. They don't follow through. They should not be trusted. There are so many things, guys. I mean, even when you called the wife and all those confirmations you started getting, these are what investigations will help you find out. And lastly, because I don't want this video to be long, this is supposed to be a summary, but I still wanted to teach you guys something. Lastly, that I will say here is, men who don't work and lazy around is a red flag. Men who don't work and lazy around is a red flag. I understand. I'm not saying everybody should be making 6 figures, or like, if you can, good, but there's something about there's dignity in labor. There's something about waking up every morning and going out there to get a job. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't consider guys who are trying to make it and succeed in life. I'm saying don't consider guys who are not even trying. They are always lying down, not doing anything, and you're the one feeding them. They wake up, they lie down, they don't do anything. No, don't consider those kind of guys. They are lazy and they will drain you as a lady, even like make your life so miserable. So ensure that the guy, if you're trying to grow together, that guy is the guy that wakes up every morning, goes out there, try to find something, and that you are seeing evidence that this guy is actually really trying. Not the ones that will lie down and tell you that they don't want to do anything, that they are tired, or that they are emotionally whatever. Yes, we're all emotionally traumatized in this economy and everything. Everybody's going through something, but then don't allow yourself to be used. I hope you learned something from this video. I'm super afraid sometimes about things that happen. But I believe that if you watch this video to this point, you would have learned some important lesson. Do your like the most. If you don't get anything else I said in this video from this story, please do your best to investigate anybody that you want to be with. Do your research. Yes, it's good to listen to what they are saying, but do your own research. Find out their presence on social media if they have any. If you get to the point you are falling in love already, try to get to know their family, talk to their family members, do all those stuff that you need to do so that you don't become a victim. And not just family members, because sometimes family members are cooperate in deceiving people. Friends too. So when you spread your wings, it helps you to cover all grounds to ensure that the person you want to get married to is somebody that can be trusted and not a liar. This is like the second story I'm seeing about this, where it comes to like people lying about their life and everything. And I know that a lot of it are happening out there. There's some people going through it right now. So please don't be a victim. So if you enjoyed the video, please do well to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video, and do well to like this video, share it with your friends. This is a summary. You can, if you like want a long story, you can go ahead and watch the 50-part series. You can find it on TikTok, and I believe that it will bless you. You will learn something more in depth too. All right, thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.